Hey guys, wanted to share a little bit about my appreciation or how I've come to appreciate failure. Uh, Sophomore year of college, I slacked off quite a bit. I relationship and playing games, staying up late, drinking tons of energy drinks, not doing my homework. I was just major slacking. And by the end of the first semester, I think I ended with about a 1.3 GPA. And the second semester, I ended up with about a 1.4 GPA. Getting better, getting better. And it it didn't really hit me, Like I was just kind of coasting along. Oh yeah, bad grade again. So what a surprise, right? You didn't do anything to earn any good grades. But I fast forwarding a little bit towards like sometime in the summer, I received, I think it was a letter or an email from the university, Texas A&M, and it said, "Hey, you're about to get kicked out of school. Um, you got to find another major, and otherwise you'd be kicked out of school, basically, right?" And I remember I was sitting right over there. I was working on this little deck that I'm building. Well, we built already, but I was working on this deck, and I remember I got that email, and I just sat over there in silence. I didn't know what to do. I had never received a email or mail saying, "Oh, dude, you're failing." I graduated high school doing really well, and it was it shocked me. And I remember just sitting there crying. I was in tears, like, oh my gosh, what am I gonna tell my parents? What am I gonna do, like, about schooling? What am I gonna tell my friends and all that stuff? Like all that. And it's just like, dude, you should be worrying about how you're gonna what are you gonna tell yourself? What do you think about yourself? Like my story about myself just went down the drain at that point. I was telling myself, dude, like you're stupid, you're an idiot, like what are you doing with your life? And long story short, I ended up never telling my family that, or I don't really think I told any of my friends either. I was just like, all right, I am gonna do some digging, and hey, Christina, and try to get my grades up or get into a different major, right? Not my grades up. First, I had to get into another major, and sure enough, my math grades were decent. I had like a 3.0 in math, but everything else, especially after the 1.3, 1.4 semesters, uh, killed me. But I ended up going to the math department and applying and this dude was just like, "All right, so you're using us as like a stepping stone." I'm like, "Yes, yes, I am. Like, I need to stay at school, and my goal is to be an engineer. So, like, I need to get an engineering degree, or else I'm not leaving this place. So, if you could, I would greatly appreciate you accepting me to the math department." And it was like applied math or something. But I remember getting in, and this huge weight was lifted off my shoulder. But at the same time, I kept telling myself that when I was sitting over there building this deck, I was crying, I was in tears, and I kept telling myself, today is the turning point of everything. Okay, I was either gonna give up and just blame the world and blame, whatever I was in at the time, and just take all the responsibility away from myself. And that would have been the easy way, but then I probably wouldn't be the person I am today with the successes that I have today. If I did that. And I remember this song was playing. I was listening to the song on, it was a Vietnamese song called Thất bại và thành công. It's like failure and successes, right? And well, if you know Vietnamese, it is. But it hit me, like you can't really grasp and understand success if you haven't really tasted failure. And at the time, I still hadn't fully grasped what the concept of failure was. But I remembered, all these flashbacks started coming in. I remember this teacher in high school told me, "I hope all of you," and she was talking to the class, "I hope all of you fail at some point in your college career." And I remember at the time, I was like, "What are you talking about? I ain't gonna fail." You know, like I'm a straight student. I'm getting summa cum laude coming out of high school. I'm a freaking genius. Um, but no, that wasn't the case. She was a genius apparently. She knew. So, anyways, failed. I failed twice, 2 semesters, and had to pick myself back up. And I remember after getting into that math department, I was like, all right, what are you going to do differently? I deleted my games. That was step one. I started going to the library. That's step two. But I also spent almost all of my time there. I stopped listening to music. The entire second semester, sophomore year, I was listening to depressing music. I was listening to stuff that wasn't feeding my brain the right thing. And ended up switching to purely motivational, motivational speeches. And it slowly planted seeds in my mind that, hey, you are so much smarter than you think you are. You are so much stronger than you think you are. And it's all about the mindset, you know. I was I didn't know it, but I was slowly shifting my brain, whether I was consciously listening or just having it playing in my ear, whether I was walking to class, sitting on the bus, eating lunch, eating dinner. I was always listening to motivational speeches. And it ended up changing my life, you know. I didn't think about it that much at the time, but it did. And looking back, you know, it created this really strong character. Not character, but just thick skin, you know. Like you can face failure and keep going. After that, every exam I walked into was stress-free, because I knew what it was like to fail. You know, it couldn't have gotten any worse than that. And that's why I kept remembering, man, that teacher was so right. I wish I failed in high school so I knew going into college, like, how much I had to try, what it would feel like to fail. And anyways, it was a great experience. I wish it for everybody. Failure is taboo, I guess, and especially from an Asian culture, like, it's rough to talk about. It's rough to talk about failures. Hey, my dad's watching. Hey, Dad. But I ended up being able to overcome it all. I spent maybe 4 hours. I slept maybe 4 hours a day. I spent most of my time studying, if not eating, studying, eating, doing work. But I got into my major. I got into industrial engineering, which was like, woo. I got into engineering after all these advisors had told me, dude, you're never getting in, especially with your grades. Like, you will never, you will never get in to engineering. And I remember this feeling overcame me when the advisor just told me, like, wow, like, what did you do those 2 semesters? This was like a complete 180. I think that semester that I was a math major trying to get into engineering, I got like a 3.5 or something, and I was taking like 17, 18 hours. But it was just a matter of being disciplined and sticking with the process the entire way, just being, all right, this is my routine for the rest of the semester. And it turned out great. I got into my major. I was able to be a little bit happier again. But overall, you know, again, I wish it for everybody. Failure should not be taboo. You should talk about it as much as possible. You should learn from it. You shouldn't hide from it. And it changed my life, and that's why I appreciate it so much. And you know, I've told my friends these stories a lot, over and over, so they're probably tired of hearing it. But for those that, you know, are in school right now, maybe you had a rough semester last semester, that doesn't dictate how well you do this coming semester. If you set a New Year's resolution and you drop the ball, so what? Pick it up again. Just try again. Do your best. And just keep doing that. Every time you fail, pick it up again and do it again. It's that, what is it? It's that phrase, you know, about riding a bicycle, falling off and getting back on. But yeah, it's exactly that. You just got to keep going and not just sit down. Like, you don't just fall and then sit there in the middle of the street, right? You get back up and you start riding again. So that was my learning experience. And Good luck, guys.